This is your place for all things Grand Rapids Griffins and all things Toledo Walleye. This is the Hockeytown West podcast with your host, Brandon Cook and Nick Harrington.
Welcome back to the Hockeytown West podcast, your source for everything Grand Rapids Griffins and Toledo Walleye hockey. I am one of your hosts, Brandon.
I'm Nick.
And today we are in a different location. If for those of you watching on YouTube here, we're in the Griffins locker room with none other than Brad Dogg Thompson, Griffins equipment manager for what, 25 years now?
This will be my 28th.
28th year, but 25 as head assistant.
Correct.
Right? Perfect. Yeah. And thank you for having us in here to do this. This is incredible. I didn't ever think we'd be able to do something like this, and this is a fun way to kick off the, kind of the start of the season here coming up.
Yeah, local boys just hanging out in the locker room this summer, nothing going on, so let's get to it.
Well, speaking of summer, how's your summer been so far?
Pretty good. Played a lot of golf, back starting to, hurt, and a little bit of softball and traveling, but besides that, I'm ready to go for year 28.
Yeah, that 28 is going to be a good one, I think, too. How did you get started on all this?
So I was in school for criminal justice down at CC, and I was working part-time at Patterson Ice Center, and the guys from Patterson Ice Center knew a guy, our medical guy, Rob Snitzer, and said, hey, we need a helper on game days. Well, little did I know, I showed up on my birthday, September 25th, my 21st birthday, and the assistant quit. So they were like, hey, you want to be the assistant? And I was like, well, I can, but I have schooling, and stuff. So after practice, or after school, I'd come and do the laundry and set up for the next day and do that for 6 months. And I was flying back for, exams and all that stuff. And, and I just asked my mom, I said, hey, do you care if I quit school? Her saying no, but, she's a hockey, woman her whole life. And she was like, yeah, go chase your dreams. So 28 years later, I'm here with a Stanley Cup and 2 Calder Cups. Local kid.
That's an impressive resume right there to throw out there. 2 Calder Cups and a Stanley Cup. So you brought it up. You've had the opportunity to work with the Detroit Red Wings. You were there for the 08 Stanley Cup. What was that whole experience like for you, and how much is that different than being in Grand Rapids? It's
definitely a lot more show. You're going into arenas with 20,000 people that are shaking the windows. Mm-hmm. And you're at the Joe Louis Arena, that old grungy place that, you have that home advantage. And it's just, and you just keep rolling with it. And then all of a sudden, next thing you know, you're in the finals and you're like, we got a chance to do this. And, you make friends with Chris Osgood. I still talk to all those guys today, Darren McCarty, Kurt Malpe, Stevie Y, they were all around there and, being part of it all. And it was just, it's always been a family in Detroit, and that's what makes it fun. I walk in the door, Thomas Holmstrom and I, 2 minutes later, are wrestling on the floor. You know what I mean? It's always been, in the Detroit Red Wings locker room, it's always been family, and that's what we try to teach here with the kids, is family, and if you need somebody right next to you is going to help you out.
That's awesome. That's fantastic. I mean, I love the part, you just come in the first day and you're already the assistant. You already got a promotion on your first day.
Yeah, it was and then the best part of that is I'm walking, it was at Belknap, Chris Ice House. I'm walking down, I hear, heads up. First day, bam, puck on my head, hit the top of my head, puck out of play. And then Matt Ruchty, one of our guys from back in the day, was like, hey, how you doing, Matt Ruchty? I'm like, wow. And then come to find out this guy's meat, just straight will, beat the wheels off you if you need it. And he's one of my, good friends today. We golf once a week, and we still talk all the time. And, yeah, it's a lot of good relationships have, grown from this.
How did your experience with the Red Wings winning the Cup, how did that differ from, the Calder Cups that you won while you guys were here in Grand Rapids?
It's, like I said, it's, more show. It's you have guys from the NHL that you're only allowed to go in this certain spot, or you're only allowed to, go on the ice once this happens, where when we win, we're out there and we're like, what do we do? When 2013 was great because we were in Syracuse, we won, and that was the first time that I won by myself, and I'm like, what do I do? You know what I mean? And then Chris Nicolas from the American Hockey League is like, Dog, You just won the Calder Cup for the first time. Go enjoy your friends. I'm picking up the gear. And like, hey, don't steal my stuff. Like, we got to, get this all back in the room. And he's like, go, we got this. So it's a lot more flash. You fly in your plane, you get home, the families are there. Like, you have like a party in the hangar. Like, it's a show for sure. NHL is a show.
Now, did you get a day with the Stanley Cup since you were there?
I was supposed to get a day with the Stanley Cup here. I was going to take it to Frankie V or Joe V's there on Stocking Street. The guy decided to leave early, and Darren McCarty and I were out in the wind without a Stanley Cup. But a couple guys showed up, so it was fine. Everybody loves to see that guy, so it was fine. It's okay.
D-Mac's always a good time. Now, did you get days with the Calder Cup?
Yes. So the Calder Cup all summer long would stay, here, and I'd grab it and take it to like over to Granville and just, go watch a movie and throw popcorn in it. And everybody would walk by it and they'd be like, what is that? And I'd be like, oh, it's second place bowling trophy. It's okay. You want some popcorn out of it? And then all of a sudden, and taking it to Marge's and all that stuff and just sitting it down, back in, where I grew up. So just, showing a couple people some love, Chick-fil-A, all that fun stuff.
So what challenges did you have that you had to overcome with both runs with the Cup in Detroit and with Grand Rapids?
Definitely, like we thought we were going to win in Detroit. Like, everybody was all dressed up, ready to go in the back, and then they scored that goal and we had to go back to Pittsburgh, and the funny thing is back in those days, Chris Osgood would change with us in the laundry room. He wouldn't change in the change stalls with the players. Like, he would go in the back laundry room with us and hang out, and he looks at us and he's just like, guys, don't worry, we got this. It's all good. Like, we're winning when we come back from Pittsburgh. And I'm like, well, the guy stopping the puck saying that, and I'm like, let's go, bro. And then 2013 was great, like we got whipped and, and then we went over there and we just decided, Brendan Evans decided to score his most important goal of his life, and had one goal the whole season, scores that goal, clincher. And it's like, right place, right time, I guess. Just like Marty Firk here in 2017 on the half wall with like 3.5 minutes left, like just shoots the puck at the net over, his shoulder and scores. And we're like, boys, we got a chance here. So it's you just hope and, and it's puck luck and all that fun stuff that get you there.
Out of the two teams that won the Calder, which team was better, the 13 season or the 17?
I would think 2013 could beat some NHL teams. Like, we had Thomas Tatar, Gustav Nyquist, Peter Mrazek, like, Brian Lashoff being a young kid just buzzing around. You know what I mean? Then we had toughness like Tristan Grantwood, and Luke Glendening. Like, it was an NHL team 100%. Brett Skinner, De Kaiser, like all those guys were there. Timo Pulkkinen, he didn't even get to play because we were so good.
What was more fun, winning it on home ice or, the time we won it in Syracuse?
As an equipment guy, or
overall, what was more fun?
Well, I'll show you a picture afterwards of what this room looked like. So guess who had to clean it up?
Oh,
the dog. But that's okay. Yeah, no, it was great. Like, home was awesome. Like I said, like, I'm a local kid from Wyoming, Michigan. It was great to bring a championship to the city, and and in a high school that really didn't know much about hockey. It was great to, like, bring it around, like I said earlier, like, bring it around town and just show people, like, what you can do if you win.
Yeah, that is a cool experience and really special for them, too. And, who knows, that might develop into a hockey player one day that does the same thing just because they saw you bring that there. So.
Yeah, 100%. Like we had my assistant, Jim Heinzelman, the year that we won in 2017. That was his third Stanley Cup, who I went to high school with. He was my assistant here with the Blackhawks. So we had a double cup party over there in Granville, Michigan, from two kids from Wyoming Park High School that people were like, what's going on here? So we had the Stanley Cup and the Calder Cup there at the same time.
That's awesome. That would have been a fun party to be at.
Yeah, that was good.
I wonder how many times that's happened. Like, been able to have both at the same place that's not in, like, the museum or the holders.
Yeah, it's pretty neat. It was a great experience.
Yeah. Now, during your time, you've obviously seen some crazy good players come through that have gone on to play some incredible NHL careers. What was the one guy, though, or is there one guy that sticks out in your memory that kind of came in and it was under everyone else's radar, but you're looking at him like, he's going to turn into something pretty special? It's a tough question.
Yeah, it is a tough question. You know who I think's on that path now is Sebastian Kosa and Albert Johansson.
Oh, yeah.
Albert Johansson is, in the shadows of Simon, who's an elite player.
Oh, yes.
But I think Albert, and then even behind him with William Wallander, like they can play, and pretty soon they'll be up there making millions of dollars, and I'll be like, yes, I had that kid as a young kid, and it's great to see those kids excel, and from Dylan Larkin to Nick Cronwell. Like, we sat down this summer and we just talked for a little bit, and we're like he had almost 1,400 games. I have 2,000 with just his team, and it's just like, wow, we've been through the ringer together, bro. So I knew him since he was a kid, and he showed up and had all those guys like Jimmy Howard and all of them.
We're big Kosa fans and big Albert Johansson. And talking to Dan Watson just a couple weeks ago, he said be on the lookout for William Bollinger. So, you're the second person with the team that said that. So I think a lot of people should look out for this guy next season to have a big season. So
yeah, he'll be running the power play here. I'm guessing this year Wally will be, and and he can skate. He's a big kid, and he's not an emotional kid that gets frustrated. He just plays the game and comes back here and drinks his Coke, and we high five and we go home. He's a great dude.
We've been able to watch him at practice. He's got a pretty good shot too when he gets activated too. So we're excited to see a little bit more on that side too.
Yeah, he can bring it.
This past winter, speaking of Simon Edmondson, there was a crazy story that you brought his equipment all the way to New York, New Jersey. Tell us what happened behind that during Christmas break.
Yeah, so I thought I was having 4 days off. That didn't happen, but no, we, my brother and I were up, our family is up north snowboarding and skiing, and we were like, okay, cool. We're just gonna enjoy a couple days up here. And I got the phone call at 11 o'clock at night. Hey, what are you doing right now? I'm like, Upper Michigan, Northern Michigan, Traverse City area. He's like, Simon needs his gear tomorrow to play in New Jersey. Is there any chance you can do that? So I made a couple phone calls. And a couple of my assistants, were busy with their family, and I wasn't taking them away from that since it's the only time they get to see their family. So I drove home, got home 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, packed up his stuff, went to bed at 6, or got up at 6 in the morning, couple hours, drove to Detroit, got on a Northwest or Delta flight, and got there by 3 o'clock so he could play in that game. I wasn't going to let the poor kid not get a chance to play in the NHL just because I want to be selfish. So I got to do that, and it was great. It was awesome. I still have his socks in my room, so I'll keep those as a memento.
Did he hook you up with any other nice Christmas gift to be able to do that, or?
Simon, like I collect knives, and he got me a pretty cool 5-inch, 6-inch K-bar knife. So it was a pretty neat thing, But I did lose out on 4 days of my ski trip, and yeah, I paid for that, but that's okay. Poor kid.
Hopefully, he'll pay it back with the next contract that he has.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, like I said, he's awesome. And I can't say, I'm not doing that for you. So we did it, and the good part, he was in New York City, so he only had to come, 45 minutes away, and then he got to play. And then after the game, they sent him back down. So I'm like, okay, cool. I'll just take your bag home, bro. Enjoy your vacation.
I mean, you got to hang out on the bench at Madison Square Garden during that game too, right?
It was New Jersey.
Oh, was that New Jersey?
But I've been in Madison Square Garden too. That's a great little spot too, right downtown. It's awesome.
Yeah, I'm sure I want to go there one day. That's on the
it's
bucket
neat.
list. So during our interview with Dan Watson, he said specifically about you that you're the fire inside this locker room that the team needs, and that you are the guy that builds a lot of trust with the players and everything like that. How difficult is that for you to do? And then what drives you to be that hype man like that? You know what?
It started a long time ago. I want to see everybody excel. You know what I mean? I don't want you to fail. I want all these kids to leave here going, you know what? Dogg made me a better person, not a better hockey player. If you have that 2 seconds of, I've learned from Chris Chelios, you learn, does it take 2 seconds for you to sign an autograph for a kid? Now that kid loves you the rest of your life. Costs you nothing. Do that. Broken stick, I don't know if you guys probably see me handing out sticks like they're toothpicks, once they break to all the kids. Because when I was a kid, there's a great picture of me somewhere with the Grand Rapids Owls mascot. When I was about 4 or 5 years old, there was a rally there. And my mom brought me that, and that just hooked our family on hockey. And,
That's awesome.
Now I'm old and I'm hanging out in hockey. But, yeah, it's mostly getting that trust from the guys, saying – the team mom, pretty much. If you're being an idiot, I'll let you know. If you're being a great dude, I'll give you that hug. Or if you need your chain pulled, I have no problem doing that because I'm not doing it for me. I'm doing it for you and your future.
Yeah. Yeah, and I've noticed like in the behind the scenes videos the team will release, like even when you're on the bench, you're still like giving them feedback after a play or anything like that.
Yeah,
too.
like I'm
Like anything that you
encouraging
can
them,
see.
and yeah, I just want to encourage, and like I said, I want to see everybody do good, and bro, make that $5-6 million and be proud of yourself.
Yeah. I mean, the first thing here is like, we always live by this at our company is be a human first and then be a manager second. And I mean, I've watched your other interviews with Wood TV and things like that. And it's just, I mean, it showed throughout those times as well. So, I mean, I think that's a big part, especially when you talk about family with Detroit Red Wings and then coming here, like having that same culture here. It's a huge thing.
Dude, it's unbelievable. Like, it's awesome to walk into that locker room at the Joe Louis Arena back in the day and be like, Nick Lindstrom, Nick Cronwall, Zetterberg, Dan Cleary, Chris Draper. Like, I could lean on any one of those guys today and say, listen, my car broke down. I need you to help me with this, whatever. 3 of those guys would drive over from Detroit right now and to help me with that. Like, that's what you established over there, and that's why they've won through the years, because they're family first.
The culture is fantastic.
Yeah.
You've been doing this. You've been an equipment manager for a long time. What has changed in the last 24 years that you've had to adjust or change in your regular schedule and like your regular routine, I guess, besides players?
Yeah. There's over 1,000 of those. But no, it's like it's a lot of the kids these days are more entitled. Of, I deserve this, I deserve this, I deserve this right now, because their families have told them since 13, 15 years old that they're going to be the next Ovechkin. Yeah. You know what I mean? And that's where you got to, like, as a buddy, break them down. But at the same time, show him, hey, listen, like, you do it stuff this way, because they're saying that, but they're not listening. I'm like that, that brother that when you golf, hey, do it this way. And then all of a sudden you do it, because you don't want to listen to him. You're going to listen to me. So it's good. I just try to throw it out at them and to be good people and work hard.
Who were you the most harshest on last season?
I'd say I had to flex a couple times on Simon, but I mean, Simon's a good dude. Like he just like he's so emotional and he's young. So like if I do it and then he doesn't have to do it, or you know what I mean, and then he can tell me to go hit the road, but I'm probably the hardest on Dominic Shine. Like, that's, like, my best buddy. On the thing. Like, I've told him since he showed up here, listen, when you go into Toledo? Like, when are you going to be the captain in Toledo? You know what I mean? As just a fun thing, because, I don't know, like, you guys watch. Mm-hmm. Every year, he starts on the 4th or 5th line.
Yep.
He's not going to play. He's got to be scratched. He's going to play. Well, the next thing you know, what happens? Second line, first line, killing penalties, playing on the power play, beating people up. He's a constant pro, and he's the mainstay in this locker room. And and if we need help with that, like Dids and Raph and all those guys are good at breaking down kids. But like I said, like we had a good group here last year, and it showed in the playoffs that everybody wanted to buy in. Zarni and Simon could have said after they got back, from and landed in Io, they could have been like, my season's done. I don't care. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah. They bought in, and we tried to figure it out, and just couldn't score a goal in one of those games, or we would have moved on.
So with over 2,000 games under your belt right now, what are some of the most memorable moments that you've had in the locker room here as the equipment manager?
Just making friends with the guys. Like, I still talk to Philip Hronik. I still talk to a lot of those guys, and it's, I mean, I come to work every day just like you guys. Like, it's like a game. It's a game. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. At the end of the day, for me, it's just making those friendships and being good to people and in the community, out, and wherever. Even on the road, like in Cleveland, I have friends. I have friends in Milwaukee, Texas. Like, everywhere I go now, like, I have friends where I can go have dinner with them or, hang out with their families or, stuff like that. And I'm just happy to do that. Like at first they hate you because, they're banging on the glass. They want you to be annoyed. And then I'm like, go ahead and bang. I don't really care. Like, you paid your money. Go ahead. Yeah. Now, if you want to get stupid and call, Sheehan Tinky Winky, we're going to fight. But like in Rockford back in the day, but after that, it's been fine.
So this might be a tough one for you. So you were named Griffin's Employee of the Year in 2007 and in 2022. You became the first equipment manager to receive the, pronounced FATSEM?
Yeah.
A Career Achievement Award. What did it mean to be recognized in this way, and what advice would you give to others aiming to excel in their careers?
First of all, it told me I'm getting old, and I've been doing this a long time. But no, just be a mentor. You know what I mean? Like, teach the kids the right way how to be a good equipment guy, but not be that guy that's not going to give a player something where you want to argue with them. Like, they want this, they want this, they want this. Well, hold on. Let's, we got a budget. We need to figure stuff out. But, like, the guy in Rockford, Tyler Carpenter, equipment manager, like, he calls me once a month, and we just sit down, and he's a new kid, and we just try to structure him. And, like, Charlie now, who's in Texas, he's on his way, and now Steggy, my assistant before him, is now the third guy with the Dallas Stars. So all of my assistants have done really well, and they're all in the game, and you just try to teach them the right way how to be a good person, and it works.
Yeah, that is really good, and it's cool. I didn't know Steggy was down in Dallas. That's
yeah,
awesome.
he just got his job there a couple months ago.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Good for him.
Yeah.
So back to this past season here, there was probably one of the biggest games outside of the playoffs in the AHL in this arena. It was Milwaukee and Grand Rapids when we snapped their winning streak. And you got to go out there and copy Askeroff's celebration by flipping the net over. How much fun did you have doing that?
Well, it was supposed to be. Well, let me tell you this story, because I got in trouble for that.
Oh.
But it was supposed to be me and another couple guys, and the other two guys, players that were supposed to do it with me, bailed. So the fat equipment guy walking on the ice right there is the guy that, looked like an idiot coming on the ice when I shouldn't have. And then I waited for them to leave, though. I looked down at their bench and waited for them. Then I did it because the other two guys that were supposed to help me just looked at me and go, they're like, I can't. I'm like, why? A kid does it all the time. Like, he's a good player. Yeah. It's like a respect thing. Like, he's elite.
Oh, yeah.
And when he does that, why can't we do it back? Like, we shut the door on you. Like, okay, now shut the door back on us. We don't care. It's back and forth. It's like ping pong. Yeah. You win, I win. Like, yeah. And that might start something. But, so I called Greenberg, their president. I was like, you've known me for 25 years. Blah, blah, blah. And I was just like, sorry. And then we had a great video from our front office. They shot it because I told them I was going to do it if we won. And they have a great video of it, and they couldn't post it because our coach is like, probably not a good idea.
Oh, man. I know. I was trying to get a good video of it from the stands, too, as I saw you walking over there. I was like, what is he doing? And
I've never done that before in my life, and I was like, I think it's time. But, I knew we were going to play them in the playoffs. It is. Like, I know their coaches. Like, I know their equipment guys. Like, they're like, that was awesome, Dog. And then the fan base, one of the fan base guys, like, from there, Gordon, he was, huge Milwaukee fan. He's like, what are you doing? And I'm like, well, you can do it. Why can't I do it? Yeah. And he's now the guy that I go to dinner with, him and his family, and takes me to Greasy Spoon breakfast places on game days, and that's how we made a relationship. It's awesome. So.
Well, as fans, we appreciate it. I didn't know you got in trouble, though, so maybe we'll stop bringing it up. Yeah. And going also back to this year, one of the media things that was done was the team getting ready and who took the longest. So who does take the longest to get ready, and why is it Amadeus?
Yeah, I think because his brain just keeps spinning in circles. And I put him in the corner because he's a rookie, so takes him a while to find the corner, and then he just hypes himself up, and then when he's ready to go, he goes. Great kid, freaking... Looks like he's 12. He's going to have a future if he keeps going the right way, and it's so funny because we had a conversation. You should ask him sometime. We were over there by the cooler after a game, and I was like, bro, you got to keep moving your feet. You got to keep finishing your checks. I know you're not a big guy, but a bump off will help, your partner, whatever. So I'm sitting over there afterwards, and Steve Yzerman comes over to him and says, listen, man, you just got to bump your guy and move your feet and stuff like that. And I'm like, yes. Hear that? Like I've seen over 1,000 of you players. Like I could probably go out there and coach too. I know everything. There's actually a general manager in Winnipeg for the Jets who's the assistant GM who runs the Moose, and he was an equipment guy for the Winnipeg Jets back in the day. So Zinger's his name, Craig Heisinger, and he's like an equipment guy that stepped up to the GM role. And now he finds the teams. He always has great teams because he's seen hockey there. You need your 2 or 3 meat sticks, your your fighters, and your skilled guys. But you need your Dominic Shines too, that grind and do all that stuff. Because when you get to the NHL, Lambeau's not going to be a grinder.
Yeah.
You're going to be a top 6 or you're not going to play. So you better move your feet and freaking figure it out.
And you didn't tell Steve this before.
No, not at all. No,
He wasn't in the corner listening in.
No. And it's funny because like it was like probably 2 times this last year that I said that, and then he's like, "Thank you so much," and I'm just like, "I'm here. That's what I want to do. Like, yeah, I'll sharpen your skates, make sure you're good, but my number one rule here is to make you a good person and freaking figure out, your job so you can make lots of money."
The one thing I learned about him last week was he really doesn't like that Rock Me Amadeus song.
Yeah.
So, if you ever need to, a little pump up for him.
Yeah.
What player has the weirdest ritual that you've ever seen, been a part of?
I would probably have to say Fabian Brunstrom with his stick. He would go out by the stick rack. He'd tape sandpaper on the ground, and he would rub his stick on sandpaper to shape it the way that he wanted it. He has a custom stick that's its curve, and that's the way he makes it. But in his brain, to get going, to be a pro, to play the game, he needed that. Or Danton Cole that always would leave his tooth in a Gatorade cup. Like he would, and you couldn't touch any of his stuff, like his tape, his towel, his tooth, any of that stuff. He was, that was back in the day, like a long time ago. But he was, he was weird like that too.
Oh, that's putting the tooth in the Gatorade cup. That's a new one.
Yeah.
That's a new one.
Just a little flipper.
Please don't.
For the pod.
Please don't start doing that. No.
Do you know the beautiful thing about being a sports fan? There's only like 2 days the whole year without a game. 2. With so much happening and so much action, that makes just about every day game day at DraftKings Sportsbook. It's super easy for first-timers to get started. Try betting on something simple like picking a team to win. Go to DraftKings Sportsbook app, select your team, and place your first bet. It really couldn't be any easier, any simpler. Currently, the Detroit Red Wings are a plus 4,000 to win the Stanley Cup for next year. And if you're new to DraftKings, you got to check this out. New customers bet $5 and get $150 in bonus bets instantly. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use code THPN. That's code THPN for new customers to get $150 in bonus bets instantly when you bet just $5. Only on DraftKings. The crown is yours. Problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.1800gambler.net. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467369. In Connecticut, help available for problem gambling, call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Will Casino and Resort in Kansas, 21 plus, age varies by jurisdiction, void in Ontario. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. cdkng.com/football for eligibility and deposit restrictions, terms, and responsible gaming resources.
So when we've posted a few times online and you've interacted with us on there and said, wait till you hear my stories.
Yeah.
So we need a couple crazy stories from you. What do you got?
Well, I would have to say my craziest story would be in Rockford. Pink at the rink game. Thomas Tatar, Nyquist, Anderson, Peter Mrazek. The night before, we went bowling as a team, like just as a fun, like, hey, bowling, we're here in Rockford, let's go do something.
Yeah.
Team bowling thing. I bought a bowling ball because I bowl, so I wanted to be swaggy and have my own ball. So got that. Game comes along. We're up 5-2. Second period. Right? It was crazy because Blash was standing there, Jimmy Pack was standing there, our coaches, and I walked over to Blash and I'm like, heads up. He's like, what do you mean? I said, Beecher's going to jump somebody. So Kyle Beach, who's a referee now, goes and jumps and beats the wheels off of Riley Sheehan. Just starts slugging him. Like, Riley's the nicest kid ever. Like, he's not going to, he can't fight himself out of a bag. And he's like just getting wheeled. And then we push Louis Mark Aubry off the bench. So he's the sixth man on the ice. And then everybody and their grandma is on the ice. So there's a player for Rockford, Lalonde, who grabs a stick and chucks it at Blash's head. And I grab it right before it hits Blash's head. Blash still has the video. He shows it to everybody.
Oh, my gosh.
And I grab it, and I drop it down, and then Jimmy Pack's, like, freaking mad. Veins are coming out. Chung Lee, like, he's going to beat the wheels off of everybody. And I'm like, maybe I should go on the ice.
Oh no.
So now I'm like, Bernie, John Bernal was our medical. I tapped him. I said, let's go get their guys.
No.
I mean, they're our buddies, but at the same time, if we're in one, let's slug each other out. Who cares? You know what I mean? That was my thought. He's like, no, I'm just going to stay here. I'm like, okay. So what happens is I go off the bench. I go around to their bench. I grab their coach by the tie, and I try to yank him off the ice. If he lifted his guard, like I tell everybody, like I hammered him good with my right hand because I'm left-handed, and I grabbed him. If he would have put his guard up, I would have swung and hit him and knocked him out. So I'm on their bench yanking their coach off the bench, and Anderson and Nyquist are behind me pulling me off. And the referees are my buddies, and they know he's an idiot. So they were just like, go ahead, do whatever you need to do, dog.
Oh,
So I grabbed them, whatever, and he's like, what are you doing? Well, Ben Simon was their assistant coach at the time, and I've known Ben forever.
Oh, man.
And I get a text message at like 12:30 at night, zzz, zzz, and I'm like, gosh, I'm sleeping, And at the time, I was like, that's one time I should have went to jail. Like I should have just, whooped him, and then it would have been an even cooler story. But it's like, okay, I get a text message, and Ben goes, great job, and he shows me the video of me yanking the coach off the ice or bench by his tie.
My God.
Yeah.
I've seen the videos of the brawl, but I don't think I've ever seen the videos of you out there. I didn't know that.
So if you watch the one from, there's like two, like shot on straight, and then there's like a, like a fan over on the other side. You can see me walk on over to their bench, and it was, it was awesome. Like I wouldn't change it again, but I should have hit him. Come to find out, like he's an idiot. Like he, beats his wife, whatever.
Jeez.
Assaulted his family, like, and I don't like that. Like
No.
So I like that's one regret I have, that I could have made him eat out of a straw for a bit.
Did more.
Yeah.
Any other ones outside of that one? Because I don't know how you top that.
Yeah, that's my most elite story.
Oh my gosh.
But I got to play a game for the Muskegon Fury in 2009. All our players were on Christmas break, whatever, and they needed somebody, and I've played like through the city like my whole life. And so I got to dress up for that. Jimmy Howard was there, like Kyle Quincy, Ryan Keller, like all those guys. And then I had Ryan Barnes and Dave Van Drunen and all those guys that played there. So they were like, yeah, go ahead, like play. And Barney was like, if you guys touch him, I'm beating you up. So like, so it was whatever. But then after the game, like Jimmy Howard bought me my jersey and then got another one made. I signed it. It's hanging in his basement today for my first pro game I had. And it's pretty neat.
You score at 4 or 5 goals?
Yeah, no.
You play forward, defense? What do you?
Forward.
Forward?
Yeah. Yeah. Sick mitts, no feet, but I mean, I could play a little bit back in the day.
I'm gonna leave that comment.
Yeah. They always said I had the tools, just not the toolbox. So.
Hey, you're coming with at least something.
Yeah. I'm not afraid. I'll tell you that much.
So being here, the big thing with me and Brandon, we love the jerseys, the specialty jerseys more than others. What is your favorite jersey that you've seen that the Griffins have done in the last, since you've been here?
Specialty
Or regular?
I like the Shield jersey. It's crisp. You know what I mean? Like when we played Toronto Marlies, it's like playing the Maple Leafs, like that original 6 kind of like feeling of the bright red against the bright blue. You know what I mean? Like that stuff. I mean, the Cancer Knights, the purple Knights are always great. And, I'm always a big one for like the soldiers, like the military stuff. So I'm, if it's camo, I'm in.
Nice. I think one of our favorites is going to be my favorite is the Shield one for sure.
Yeah. The Shield one's elite and should never go away. It should be a primary.
Yeah.
But I think it's funny too because I think when we talked to Pat Mickish, the cancer ones and the military ones were also his favorite.
Yeah.
So,
do you have a lot of like influence on those designs or like matching socks, shorts, anything like that?
No, that's Brandon Nelson in the front. I'm in charge of the home, away, and the thirds, the shields. After that, Brandon's the one that does it. And like I told you guys earlier, it's a roll of the dice who we have that day. So it's you just try to figure it out that day and make sure you look halfway decent.
A little bit more stressful on those days than
Yeah,
others.
like we were looking at, we have a couple jerseys next year that are black, and we were talking about pants and gloves and a helmet that's black. It's 24 grand just to outfit,
my gosh.
just to outfit the players in 2 pairs of gloves and a helmet.
I think I just remember it was the black and gold jerseys we did this past season. Kosa had like that pull over his shorts, the black pull that kind of worked, but
Bro, I had those for about 22 years. I found them in the back for my equipment sale, and I was like, let's try these one day. All they are is like short, like they're shorts, like hockey shorts, and you just pull them over. And I mean, it looked okay. Like if we had some black gloves, like it'd be elite. But it's just a costing down the minors that like you can't really do it for $250 a pair of gloves, and then each guy has 2 pair. And then you have your $400 helmet, your $100 visor. Like it just carries up, and what you're trying to do is fundraise for the cancer so they can make $15,000. You take that away, they're going to make $6,000.
yeah.
It's not worth it. But you look like turkeys at time too, 100%.
Yeah,
Yeah.
was kind of hard.
Yeah, 100%. And I agree. But there's, like I said, I can't take that money away from them so we look good.
Yeah, no, it's the right thing to do. So looking back on your impressive career, what do you consider your biggest success and anything you would have done differently besides punching that guy in the face?
Yeah, my career, my career, just giving back to the city is what I'm the most proud of. You know what I mean? Like, I'll try to do anything I can for anybody. Like, hey, call me. You have a golf outing. Well, I'll get you a signed stick, or we'll try to make you money for your brother that has cancer, or whatever. Kids need something for school. Well, here, have a pocket autograph Simon Evans and auction it off at your school. It's a lot behind the scenes of, I want to be the shadow of these guys that are like, they go out and pump their chests up, and I'm like, yeah, I helped them out. And that's my, my fulfillment of this job is I'm just happy to make sure everybody else is good. And that's been my life. Like, growing up, not having much, and just, always just whatever you had is what you get. Like, you go play in the dirt because that's the only thing you're going to do. Like, I remember Sunday mornings going to the Amway and driving the elevator up and down because it was a glass elevator, and that was our fun for the week. Like, you know what I mean? Like that, like we didn't get to go to Michigan Adventure, or, you know what I mean, or on vacation. Like, that was just our local fun. And I mean, now that our city is amazing, I want to show everybody how cool it is, and that's what I try to do.
I love it. I mean, especially being local. I mean, that's like you already have roots here, so I mean, it just buries those roots even more. But giving back to the community like that.
Yeah, and you need an apartment, you need a car, you need whatever. I have an old player that sells cars, or you need an apartment, or I'll help you with what I can. Or like back in the day, like I used to move guys in and out all the time. Like, it was like, all right, I'll grab the pallet truck, we're a gear truck, and I'll be over there at 3. We'll load your shit back in the in the U-Haul and get it going, put it in your storage for the year, and then we'll see you in September and we'll unload it. Like, it was just, always just lending a hand. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's all I'm about. And
Or go all the way to New Jersey for some equipment.
yeah. That's what, it's all just helping somebody else out. That's been me my whole life, is just, making sure everybody else is happy.
That's fantastic. I love that. I want to skip ahead a little bit towards the fan questions that we had. So one of them was, when are we going to get another Between the Bench video series? She knows that it won't be the same without Charlie.
Yeah. Well, you know what? As long as Macy wants to do it, I mean, Kyle's great too. Kyle's fun. He's been around us since 2013, like, just helping out. And he went and traveled the world and came back. And I was like, hey, you want to be my assistant again? He's like, yep. So he moved from Colorado back here. But yeah, no, we have a lot of fun. Like, and that's what you probably don't see out there is, we'll sit in here with the guys, and like, I'll play dumb games with the guys all day long and beat them, and they get so mad. And it's just, they call me a carny, if that helps out at all. Like, Shiner and I are like, best friends. Awesome. Love that kid. But it's me and him, like, all the time, like bouncing a softball in a rolling thing, or a lacrosse ball here to here to here to here to here, bouncing it 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 times. And then, like, just chirping each other and having fun. And that's what I try to do, is keep it light. Like, they have enough stress in their life. Yeah. I try to deflect that and be like, bro, let's have some fun.
And it's probably contributes to your success that you've had here, and being here as long as you have.
Yeah, so. I mean, like there's times that like I snap, but at the same time, it's like I said, I just feel 90% of the time I'm helping these guys walk the right path to get to their dream.
Yeah, no, and it's awesome. It's everyone's dream. I mean, anyone who likes hockey, they would want to be in your shoes.
Yeah,
that's for sure. Who was the best enforcer this team has ever had?
Bruce Ramsey was pretty tough back in the day. Matt Ruckty is pretty tough.
Yep.
Pete Vandermeer.
I forgot about Pete.
Pistol Pete. Him and Daryl Bootland together. They were pretty tough. I mean, Dylan McElrath. He could chuck them. You know what? And I wouldn't go past Shiner either. like, 1, 2, 3 on Pendenza there and broke his orbital bone and knocked him out in 3 punches. Like, when he wants to chuck him, that kick, he's fast. Like I said, like, he's my buddy. Like, we'll go in the back and just screw around and start swinging at each other, and he'll hit you 3 times before you even blink.
Oh my gosh.
You know what I mean? Like, he's just like, he's getting older. He's smartening up to playing the game the right way. But like, when him and his teams in Lincoln would come into town in juniors, like, people would be scared of him.
Yeah, and you brought up D-Mac too with him. I remember him coming out of the penalty box in one game. I was sitting right behind it, and he just crushed a guy that was skating up the ice. Caused a bunch of chaos. I think he got booted from the game unfairly on that one, but I'll never forget that one. He just annihilated that man.
Him and Gallant slugging each other all the time with Cleveland and bleeding all over the face, slapping each other with blood all over the place. Oh, yeah. Old school hockey.
This is the last fan question that we have here, and it came from a Twitter follower of ours. They wanted to know, I would ask, how many times around the world have they traveled on a bus and plane? You might know this guy.
Well, I do know that guy, and let me tell you, 2 times.
2 times around the
2
world?
2 times around the world on a bus and a plane I've been with this team. Wow. I was bored last summer, and I figured it out.
So
all 27 years, 28 years of on buses and stuff around the world twice.
Is there a stadium you haven't been to yet?
There is. Providence I've never been to. Out east, a couple of those. But after that, it's, and a lot of NHL too with Detroit and traveling to Phoenix and San Diego and all that. Anaheim and all that stuff. And I've been around the block a couple times.
Around the world
twice.
A couple times.
Yeah, twice.
All right, to close this out, we're going to throw some rapid-fire questions at you to end this. So, favorite stadium snack?
Shenny Show.
What?
Yeah, Shenny Show.
What is that?
Hot dog.
Oh.
French.
No, I feel
Quebec.
Gotcha.
In Quebec.
I didn't know we were so cultured.
Yeah. Bro, don't let the beard fool you. Just playing.
Oh, best stadium. Or arena.
Like vibe?
Sure.
I would have to say Rockford's pretty good.
Is it?
Rockford's a great vibe. Like those people hated me too at the beginning, and now like I have 5, 6 friends there that I hang out and have lunch with and make sure their kids are playing hockey still and having fun with them. But yeah, they got great vibe. I mean, nothing's better than us when we were in the Calder Cup finals. The roof was coming off this place.
Yeah.
And I'll never forget that. Like every time I think of I just got chills because I was thinking about that day.
Worst stadium.
The worst stadium. Well, back in the day, the Houston Aeros used to play at the Toyota Center, and you had to walk like a mile and a half to like unload your stuff and this is the inside equipment guys thing, but like you had to honestly walk like from here to 20 Monroe just to push your cart so you can get into the room. Ooh. So the loading docks, it was on the other side, and it's a big NBA arena. And then when you got there, we would always pick on everybody that it was red seat night because there was 200, 300 people in there, and we would sit there and count. Like Brett Lebda and I would just sit there and count people that were in the stands because there was like 400 in the stands. Every time he'd come off the shift, he'd be like, I got this section. There's 23. And it's, it's fun stuff like that.
Favorite hockey player of all time? I know.
I have two. Favorite hockey player of all time is Sergei Fedorov. Great dude. Never, like I said, like you walk in the room like you're a part of it. And then Andy Bezos from the Muskegon Fury. Oh my gosh, what a train wreck. Like honestly, like Google Andy Bezos. Like he's like 300, 400 pounding minutes a year. He would jump from here to the wall to smoke you, like to elbow you in the head. But like he could play too. Like a little French guy that worked hard and he little ball of hate, pretty much. You know, like Marchand of 1994.
Okay.
When
All
you
right.
could get away with the elbows to the head, and you know what I mean, like that was him. And it's funny because when I used to race dirt bikes, my number was 913, 91 Sergey Fedorov, and he was 13. So that was always my number racing.
I like that.
Yeah.
Who has the worst locker room playlist on the team currently?
Well, from starting here, you know, to Godsmack to all that stuff to firing up to now it's all you know, beat stuff. Tacos. I have to walk out of the room at time when Taro Hiroshi was playing the music, but you know, great dude. You know, you had to poke him to talk to him, but he was he was usually the DJ. Raf's got some good tunes.
Does he?
Yeah.
After all those car trips, I hope he has a good
Yeah,
playlist.
yeah, exactly. Fuck. I-90 Raf.
Best hockey movie you've seen, or your favorite hockey movie?
Probably Slapshot.
Yeah.
Original.
And then the last one, worst road team locker room you've been in?
Rochester, Americans. Like it was like not even a third of this room. And then across the hall, like the coaches, the change room, the medical room, we're all in that. Like it was tight. They've redone it, but it was bad.
Oof.
Yeah.
We haven't played them in a long time
No.
either.
And that's when you get there in 9 hours, you know, and you're like, cool, let's unload. And then it's like,
Oh.
everybody, 4 guys are on chairs and they're bitching because they're on the chair. And it's like, what do you want me to do? Hang you against the wall? Like, you know, and it's stuff like that. Like, you know, it's fun. It's banter. You're not serious, you know, 98% of the time. And, you know, and that's my job. Oh, look at Dogg. Like, come in, you know, half shirt, you know, doing the lineup, you know, just getting the guys fired up. Like, it's fun. It's been a good ride. This year we'll have my 2,000 games, so it'll be good.
When is that?
November 24th, Sunday game against Iowa.
In Grand Rapids?
Yeah.
There we go.
So that'll be fun.
We'll put that down on the calendar.
Yeah.
We'll do something
Yeah.
special for you.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Yeah. It's fun. It'll be fun.
Who has the best locker room?
Who has the best locker room?
Roadwise.
Let me think about that.
Other than the Ormers.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is probably 7.5 out of 10 for our, you know, it's above average. Rockford's is getting elite. Cleveland's an NHL building, so theirs is nice, but you know, walking in Detroit, you're just like,
That looks tough to beat.
Chef Bill, a chef every day you want. A treadmill, water treadmill for Croner when he had his bad knees. You have cryo, so you can freeze. Salt water, like they got it all. Acupuncture. They definitely take care of their guys there.
It's truly elite locker room down there.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Well, that's all we have for questions, unless you had any other thing to add, Nick. Perfect. Dogg, thank you for doing this.
Yeah,
This is an incredible thing.
Thanks, guys, for having me.
Yeah, thank you for this. Thank you for all you do for the community and the team and everyone. But this has just been a blast, and we look forward to the season, your 2000th game, and it's going to be a fun one.
It'll be good.
Yeah.
Please show up.
We will.
Awesome.
This show is sponsored by BetterHelp. What are your self-care non-negotiables? Maybe you never skip leg day or therapy day. When your schedule is packed with kids' activities, big work projects, and more, it's easy to let your priorities slip. Even when we know what makes us happy, it's hard to make time for it. But when you feel like you have no time for yourself, non-negotiables like therapy are more important than ever. It's helpful for learning positive coping skills and how to set boundaries. It empowers you to be the best version of yourself. It just isn't for those who have experienced major trauma. If you're thinking of starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online, designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. Just fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched up with a licensed therapist and switch therapists at any time for no additional charge. Never skip therapy day with BetterHelp. Visit betterhelp.com/THPN today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/THPN.
And welcome back to just the two of us back in our respective recording rooms. This is definitely not as cool looking as being in the Grand Rapids Griffins locker room, but what a freaking experience that was for us. Thank you so much to Dogg for that. He went above and beyond to make that as special as it possibly could. And God, what an interview, man. What was your biggest takeaway in that one?
Yeah, it's definitely not as fun doing it separate, virtual. I mean, I'd like
Oh,
to
I
have you
miss you.
close to me, Brandon. Usually we hold good. So uh yeah, thank you to Dog. That was absolutely incredible. I walking, like taking us to the locker room. I'd never been there before. So yeah, not a big deal, right? And then like showing us all the coaches' rooms and everything like that was super cool. I got to see where they videotaped where the Girl Scout cookies were and where the admin does their little videos before breakfast and things like that. So that was super cool. Like just hearing his stories, like everything was fantastic. It was above and beyond for Dog, and I am just so grateful that he let us do that. And where we were able to do it was in the locker room. So that was super cool. Like it really, to me, it just hit is like this is why we do this. Is to like live out like I don't know. It's not a dream for me to play in the NHL because it just wasn't my dream growing up. But to like do this as a fan and to do this as media, like this is super cool to do. And it was just like really hit hard. And it was made me excited for the upcoming season of all the things that he like showed us behind the scenes of what's going on. Just has me like, I want the season to start tomorrow. Like that's how excited I am. And I wish I could share the stuff that he told us and shared with us, but I'm gonna keep it all a secret.
Yeah. Nope. We will respect Dogg and make sure anything that we know stays between us until it comes out. But there is some super exciting stuff coming up for the Grand Rapids Griffins this season. Fans are in for a treat this year. We know the team's going to be good. The team's going to be great. The team is set up to be super successful with the guys that have been signed this season, plus the guys that'll be coming back. But just everything in a whole experience wise and everything is going to be fantastic. But like you said, yeah, it was, I don't know, I wouldn't say a pinch me moment, right? But we're just a low level minor league podcast. But at the same time, like we don't do this for money. We do this for the fun and the love of the game. And being able, like he says in the start of the episode, it's just local boys, there's nothing to do in the summer, talking in the locker room. And it was just so much fun. And his stories were elite. He's just an elite person. And you grew up not in Grand Rapids, right? I lived in Grand Rapids my entire life, and knowing what he does on the back end for the community and how proud he is of that, how proud he is to be a part of the city, just also makes me even more proud to be from here and to see the stuff that he's doing to make this community better. People think of the equipment manager as just the equipment manager, and Dogg is a different breed. He's so much more than that to this team. He is, like Dan Watson said, he's the fire that this team needs. He's the glue that holds that locker room together. And some of the stories about, the games that he plays with the boys in the locker room, giving them crap and stuff just to keep the mood light. Like, I would love to just observe that one time, just to watch. It's just got to be a fun time in there with him around.
Did you intend to make that pun? He's a different breed.
No, that actually just flowed right out of my mouth naturally. So I think I'm finally figuring out how to do this podcast thing. What I will say to everyone is sorry for some audio glitches during the recording. We don't have 3 mics to record wirelessly on the road like that. It was our first time doing anything outside of our little recording studios that we each have. But Dogg gave us the opportunity to do that. And how do you say no? So you scrambled to find whatever equipment you can last minute to go make it happen. So we worked with what we got. We're proud of it. I hope you all enjoy it. And Dogg, thank you again, man. That was just legendary.
I really hope to, like you mentioned it a few times, but like just the genuine nice guy that he is. It's like he is, yeah, like it's not like what we do is not sexy. It's minor league hockey, is what we've been told. And like an equipment manager is not the sexiest position, right? But look at Dogg, like the sexiest guy on the team right here, right? But like, no, but seriously though, like he is such a genuine, nice soul. Like, and I think a lot of the interviews that we've done with like Amadeus and with like Dogg and a few others is just like, and Wyatt, like just showing that they're good people. They're not just hockey players or hockey players sometimes get bad reputations of just like being dry at the mic and like we're just gonna get pucks deep, things like that. Like me and Dogg joked about that, but like he's just a genuinely good person, and we want to show that side of people as well that we have the chance to sit down and talk with. So I mean, I like I said, I can't thank him enough. What he did was just so above and over the top for us, and I just really appreciate it. And I really hope that this episode, like
you guys watch it, you guys share it, you guys tell a friend, you tell another friend, and like that, it just blows up because like he is that big of a part of the organization, not just Grand Rapids, but Detroit as well. Like he was up there for a while for the Stanley Cup, time. So, and he's trained a lot of people in the industry. So, it's just I can't think of enough.
Yeah, I mean, we could go on for probably another hour on top of the episode here, just to talk about how much fun we had doing it. And that will definitely bore people because it's not as exciting as the actual interview itself. But yeah, for real, it was fun. And God, the Griffins locker room, man, it's elite. Like minor league level, like that could probably be, a low tier NHL locker room easily. Easily. It is such a nice facility. They have them set up so well.
Yeah, I mean, it looked nice. I had no expectations walking in except for everything I've heard about the sports arena. So, anything like that. So,
Yeah, no, it was cool. Thank you again, Dogg. We appreciate you. With that, though, I think it's time to wrap this episode up. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. And like Nick said, make sure you're following, like, subscribe, leave a comment. If you have future questions you want us to ask Dogg, because I don't think this will be the only time we ever get to talk to him, make sure you leave those down below in the comment section on YouTube or throw them on Twitter or wherever at. Make sure you're following us there, though, as well, because we have some more exciting stuff coming up this season. This season's not only going to be great just for the Griffins, it's going to be great for us. We're going to do some really cool stuff that we're going to try to take this to the next level. Like Nick said, it's minor league hockey. It's not the sexiest thing in the world. We've been told that by, some people. But at the same time, we're going to try to make it the sexiest thing in the world. So we're going to do our best, but thank you again to everyone. We appreciate you. And we appreciate our sponsors, of course, as well, that help make everything like this happen. Shout out to Everything Hockey. Make sure you head over to everythinghockey.com. Use code WEST to save a few bucks off your order. And, of course, the sponsors from the network, BetterHelp and DraftKings, and the network itself, the Hockey Podcast Network. Appreciate you guys for everything you do to help us grow and get to do fun stuff like this. But with that, everybody have a fantastic week. We will talk to you soon. Go Walleye. Go Griffins.
love you. Bye.
Thank you for tuning in to the Hockeytown West podcast. Be sure to check us out on Twitter at HockeytownWPod and your host, Nick at GR Hockey Guy and Brandon at Brandon GR Hockey.